Welcome back to episode 28 of Improv Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, you know me, you love me, the biggest Zelda fan in the world, coming at you once again, Mr. Jeremy Bird.
I don't know if they love him. I did as a stretch.
Shut the fuck up.
They might lust you.
I hang out with the two coolest guys and we talk about video games every single week. To my far right, we have the most fabulous ponytail in the business. I completely screwed that up.
It's the best.
Whoops. Mr. Nicholas.
How's it going tonight, everybody?
Video, and I was like, no, it's fucking the best ponytail. I would know.
And no one gives a fuck about this twat. Mr. Pete Anderson.
Fuck
What's
tar
going on,
number
guys?
one.
So I'm off to a great start.
Wait, let me do what Jeremy does. How's he do it? Wait, when I say, coming at you. Jeremy Bird, coming at you.
Coming at you once again.
Coming at you once again.
Yeah, coming at you once again.
Alright, yeah.
I'm trademarking it, so.
I'm trademarking this shit. It's copyright.
Copyright infringement.
Fine, I won't do it again. Prick.
So let's go back, gentlemen, shall we?
Back to the past?
Nick was so happy to do that, and that we didn't give him anything.
Yeah,
It
you
was
didn't
like,
give me anything. Like, god damn it, that was a great jaywalk.
Into nothing.
Into the wall.
into a car.
That was a great jaywalk into a brick fucking wall.
Ah!
Oh, I love our time.
So why
together,
don't we go to
Jeremy.
the past?
Play the shitty games that suck ass.
Alright, apparently it's Dr. Seuss time.
Oh, you have some green eggs?
Oh yes, I
in
have
there?
some green eggs and ham, please. Would you like it on a train? Would you like it on a plane?
Actually, I
Would you like it with a bass? Would you like it up your ass?
I don't think that was
my
Dr. Seuss rated R.
I don't think that was Dr. Seuss at all.
Nope.
That was rated ARG.
Ah!
Okay, are we really like bringing everything into this? Really?
I just wanted to
Ay
do it.
caramba.
Holy shit.
I haven't heard Ay caramba since I was in the second grade. Jesus Christ.
Good times.
Good, very good times.
Why do you keep looking at me?
Because I'm waiting for you to continue.
What are you waiting for me to continue?
Get on
It's
with it.
Jeremy's show.
So, like Nick said, we're going to go to the past.
Is that what Nick said? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
So, prequels. Are they good? Are they bad? Do they ruin a complete game franchise?
No, not necessarily. See,
I was hinting at Infamous.
no, see, but that's not a prequel.
What's that? Oh, it's a different game.
Infamous, like Second Son, isn't a prequel.
Never mind then.
It's garbage.
No, when I think of prequel, there's two titles I think of. One of them, both of you are gonna go, oh, of course, you fucking fanboy, shut the fuck up. So I'm not gonna say it. But the other one I
can
think
think of
of,
one.
I know, Devil May Cry 3.
Damn it, he beat me to it.
To me, Devil May Cry 3 it was the essential prequel. It was phenomenal. Number one, it rekindled the franchise because 2 was such garbage.
Oh, two almost killed the franchise.
2 almost killed the franchise. And number 2, it gave you the backstory that you were really looking for as to why Nilo Angelo was his enemy, why he had the amulet that matched Dante's amulet. So you got to meet his brother and see what it was that not necessarily put them at odds, but you saw where they stood against each other and how they interacted with each other. You never really got to see what it was that drove them apart. Not quite. So that's the story that I'd like to see come into fruition.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure as DMC goes along, they'll start to delve into what it is that drives Dante and Nero apart and forces them to be enemies instead of brothers.
Well, my example is, and I'm blanking on the name of it. Not the full name. It's not Halo ODST. It's the one that came after it.
Halo Reach.
Thank you. I couldn't.
Reach.
Yeah, for that was an amazing prequel. Just how it brought everything back to the Halo. The very end of the game is Halo 1 starting.
Yeah.
You've said it time again and you praised it. ODST sucked. Reach was a really good game in the series to literally say you play that and then you can play the original trilogy, and then just go forth from there. I was skeptical about the game. I was like, Reach?
Well, after ODST, you had to be skeptical.
No.
about-
I'm saying, like, just looking at what Reach was, I'm like, Reach, I'm still waiting for a main title. What the fuck is Reach? And I played it, and boy, did my foot go in my
Well,
mouth.
it felt like a main title.
Yeah.
It did really feel like a main title. It was a nice prequel. It was a really nice
really
prequel.
good. I forgot. That's one that came to me. I'm like, wait a minute, that is a prequel.
But then you have this prequels that don't live up.
Oh god.
Like mine would be God of War Ascension.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of
Yeah.
Ascension either.
It was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't. It came after God of War 3.
Mm-hmm.
And after playing God of War 3 and that intense story and the battle with Zeus, it was really hard to come back and give something great. And they came out with Ascension, which was good. It was good. I liked it. It had its moments, but for the most part, it wasn't as good as the older ones.
It wasn't as profound as a God of War. Well, I think the issue that you face with something like God of War is here you are, right? The first one, he's a man, and then he ends up becoming the God of War because he defeats Ares and becomes the God of War. The second one is him living his life out as the God of War until Zeus takes the power away from him and purges him to the underworld. And then the third one is you coming back from the underworld and killing Zeus. I think something like that.
And all the gods
right?
and shit like that.
Yeah, and all the gods. You battle through the gods and you kill Zeus at the end, right? The problem with the first one is you're on Earth as a powerless human being that's not getting any powers. You're just kind of playing around. People know that you're not going to be a god by the end of it. People know that you're not going to be... There was nothing fantastical about Kratos in Ascension. Everything in God of War 1, 2, and 3, he was just a fantastical character.
Yep.
Everything about him was just larger than life. There was this great aspect of this demigod that you didn't know was a demigod surmounting all these obstacles and becoming a god just by sheer force of will. But then, Ascension comes out and you're getting the story of how his wife died, I believe.
Yeah.
How his wife and child died. And he's a mere mortal. He doesn't know anything about his godly powers. And he's slowly starting to discover that there's something going on with him.
Yeah.
It just seemed like like they could have done a lot better with it. But I think it's the same reason why you haven't seen a great Hercules game. Because Hercules is a very difficult character to turn into a great game.
See, not compared to Kratos, he got his head beaten in 3. But
I mean, you guys, like I said, there's also others that don't. I think of also Gears of War Judgment.
Yeah.
oh man,
After playing 3, another one that with 3 in the title was great, and it was a nice way to finish off. Spoiler alert, Carmine survives. Which was a cool thing, and you felt satisfied. And then to go back and play Judgment, which was all right again. It wasn't the best. I think I gave both Ascension and Judgment both 8 out of 10s when the others would be like 9s, 10s, And Judgment was good. You played as Coltrane and Baird, and like it had its own little thing. But then after a while, you're like, all right, I want to be Marcus Phoenix. I want to be, kicking ass at Locust and having this massive war. And it was just basically the beginning of E-Day. And it didn't give that power. That's the problem I feel with prequels. They go back and saying, oh, we don't have to go crazy. It's not one of the sequels. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is a perfect example. Half those games that came out were prequels.
Yeah.
They're all in between. Well, what was it? It was Kingdom Hearts came out, then the card game.
Yep.
What was the card game?
Chain.
Chain of Memories.
Yeah,
Chain of Memories came out, and that was supposed to bridge the gap between 1 and 2. And then 2 came out, and then after that you had
Birth by Sleep.
Birth by Sleep, which was during the Chain of Hearts saga.
Yeah, what a cluster of a fucking story.
It was like a parallel story with Chain of Hearts. And then
Dream Drop Distance that came later was
supposed to be a prequel to Kingdom Hearts
what about,
1. Something like that. And then 365/2 was
3 Days 2 Over Summer or some shit.
Some I mean the way that they've like just thrown the stories around is a little strange.
It's too convoluted.
On top of it, all your story is in the handheld, and all your fun stuff is in the consoles.
Yeah.
Which one is?
There's only been technically two consoles when everything else has been portable.
Everything else has been.
Which
handheld
one is
and portable.
the one where you go to Castle Oblivion? Is that
Castle
Chain of Memory?
Oblivion.
I think
that was Chain of
Memories.
I think all of them you went to Castle Oblivion.
Well, here's what I love, and this is one of my favorite things to ever say. what happens when you enter Castle Oblivion? You lose your memories. So you know what that makes all these games? Worthless.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but literally, you go to Castle Oblivion, you go through all this shit, you walk out of Castle Oblivion, and your memory's wiped clean. You know what that means? Shit. Play Kingdom Hearts 1, the full thing. Play Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix, HD Final Mix. There's your fucking games.
Yeah, I mean, what was great was that Kingdom Hearts 2 did give you the story as to why you are starting off as Roxas.
Yeah.
You know, so they were able to fill in the fillers within the game, which was nice.
Which I liked a lot. I give it credit for that.
I don't mind that, but there's such a huge problem when Chain of Memories gives me so many details of what happened as to why it is in Kingdom Hearts 2, all of a sudden Organization 13 pops up. And you're like, who the fuck is that? Then the nobodies pop up. And you're
I was
what
like
the
playing
fuck
that.
is
I'm
nobodies?
like, what the fuck is this
And
shit?
all of, like there's so many questions, and all of it would have been answered if you played Chain by Memories or Chain of Memories.
But like people like us, we kind of agree that those games, like say you're gonna play, if we recommend a casual gamer, like I just said, play 1 and play 2.5 HD Final Mix, and there's your full games. Don't wait. I would say.
Well, that's one of my problems that I have with Metal Gear. Metal Gear 5 relies on a lot of information that's in the portable games.
But Peace Walker was actually Peace Walker was actually really good.
Yeah,
but if you don't have a PSP, how are you gonna play Peace Walker?
Yeah, like Peace Walker, like it relies on a lot of information from Peace Walker, and it talks about Peace Walker quite often in Metal Gear 5. And it's like, wait, but you completely ignored that there's 4 other games that you can rely on information from. Like, why is it that I'm talking about a portable? What if I don't have a portable?
So I have a question for you, Pete. Would you consider Skyward Sword a prequel in the Zelda mythos? It is the earliest Zelda game. It does explain where Ganondorf comes and everything, and the whole. I was thinking about.
I would consider it a prequel.
We'll take the controls out of the factor.
Just story wise.
I'll give it was a good one.
Yeah, I think it would be a good prequel.
Really good, great.
If it worked, the combat and everything like that, it would have been a great game.
I'm just gonna say this now, fans. It's rumored that we're gonna get a Skyward Sword HD remix on Wii U
And Twilight.
and Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess, I'm psyched about, but okay, I'm psyched about both games. But if they port it like to using the Wii pad, you got a winner on your hands. If I see, please plug in Wii Motion Plus, I'm gonna be like, I want my money back.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I can't play on that controller.
If they don't do that for Skyward Sword, I think they'll sell a lot more copies, especially with it being an HD. Rumor is.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, I think Skyward Sword really good prequel to start off the series. Just the whole mythos stories before the whole 3 golden goddesses and everything.
So what makes a great prequel to you guys?
I'm gonna say it has to have a really good story and it has to I'm just gonna say total package. Good story, good gameplay, and it keeps me satisfied from the beginning to end, and literally leads you into like the next game.
So what was it that made Ascension not so good for you?
I mean, the story wasn't as great, and I mean,
Lackluster.
you didn't have those big moments like you did in God of War 3. You climbing Olympus, like
The huge set pieces?
the pieces, the puzzles, like everything that they did fighting the gods, its story, like the combat, like all this thing going in. And Ascension was basically like, hey, we had some time. Here's a little filler, It just didn't give me that, oh my god, this is the end, A prequel, if it's a prequel and it's going to be telling beginning of a story, like for Gears of War, they say about E-Day, when they go up all the way up to there,
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up being that, like, 3 was such a masterpiece in and of itself with the war and it ending and everything was at stake and everything like that. And to go back and say, all right, this is the beginning of the war, cool, but, it doesn't really do it for me. What I think did right was Arkham, or the Arkham series. Because you had Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, right? Then you had the Arkham Origins, which was good, but not great. And then they come out with Arkham Knight and say, okay, this is it, and blow it away.
I will give Arkham Origins a benefit of the doubt because it wasn't handled by Rocksteady, it's handled by Warner Brothers Montreal.
Yes.
It was a good game, it kept me entertained, it held me over until Arkham Knight. Like, what do you think, like you said, the time between Arkham City and Arkham Knight. I had a brain fart right there. Arkham City and Arkham Knight. That was a pretty big gap. Like what? Like 4 years. And
a year or two. It was. I don't think it was 4. It was like a year or two.
No, it was 2011.
I thought you meant in game. You said time.
No. I'm sorry. I mean real world time. Sorry, real world time. Yeah, it was
yeah,
4.
yeah.
That's a pretty big gap.
Yeah,
But literally, what was it? It was 11, and then what? 13 was
Was Origins.
Was Origins. That's a good little way to just keep you hold you over. The origin of the Riddler, all the other characters that they put in it. I liked it.
It was good for what it was, but it wasn't that lasting impression. It was a prequel to show where everybody came from, and then here's Arkham Knight. Here's what we got. Here's a masterpiece. Enjoy the Batmobile, stuff like that. And it's
I would say if, like, say a casual game comes up, oh, what'd you think of the Arkham series? I'd be like, play Asylum, City, and Night. Play Origins if you get a shit. Just play Origins for the fun of it. I'll say just play it.
Montreal, WB Montreal did a nice job for it.
Yeah.
But that's how I think a good prequel is. Not after the big, that's the thing that worried me with Uncharted. Uncharted 4, I was worried was going to be a prequel. You know?
Yeah, it seems to be the trend. Is like you do 3 games and then you do a prequel. But Uncharted 3 covered a lot of how they met and a lot of prequel information they covered in Uncharted 3. So I kind of saw that wasn't coming.
But still, even like you said, history dictates that that's what's going to happen.
But Devil May Cry, the third one was the prequel.
Well,
but that was because the second
what
one
you
was
see
terrible.
is a lot of times it's either one of 2 ways. Either the 4th one is a prequel or the 3rd one is a prequel. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll finish off the trilogy and then they'll give you a prequel.
Yeah.
Or what they'll do is the 3rd one will act as giving you closure on the trilogy or a revival of the franchise. So in the case of Devil May Cry, it's a revival of the franchise because...
So you don't think DMC is a prequel?
It's not a prequel. It's a remake. They've said it thousands of times. It's a remake. The guy didn't like the way that Dante looked. He wanted to reinvent him.
Okay.
So it's a remake. It can't be a prequel. I'm sorry, but
it's
established that Dante's mother was a human and Dante's father was a demon, and that's where Dante comes from. And DMC, his mother, it's very clear in his power set that he's half angel, half demon. It's a remake.
Half human, half demon?
Half angel, half demon in DMC.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
In DMC, he's half angel, half human.
You're right.
Or half demon. And that's it. That's a remake. That's not a prequel. Can't be a prequel. It's very well established that Mundus came up, or not Mundus, Sparta came up, had sex with a human, and Dante and Virgil were born.
Yep.
And that's where that comes from. That's why they have demonic powers. There was no mention of them ever having any angelic powers. There was no mention of the mother, Trish, ever being an angel. Never at all. In the entire franchise. Nero, who was probably the one person that would have hinted at it, never even hinted at the idea that the mother was an angel. So it's a re-envisioning. Through and through, it's a re-envisioning and it's a remake. It's not a prequel at all.
I thought it was a good game. I thought it was very lackluster, personally.
Yeah, it didn't. I enjoyed 3. 3 is probably my favorite.
I thought 3 was fantastic. 2 was a mistake. 2 was we've got a great new IP. Let's give it off to a different development team, and let's see what they do with it. And they lost sight of the entire aspect of the game that made it so great, which was juggling. They made the monsters too heavy to juggle. And if you can't juggle the monsters, they're too overpowering.
I personally, it's a tie for 3 and 4 are my 2 favorites. You could be, you don't like one or the other? I'm like, I like them both equal.
Didn't you pick up the HD remake of Devil May Cry 4?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I like it. I would say buy it if you're a huge DMC fan.
Well, if it goes on sale, would you think you
get
should
it if it's on sale. If it's not on sale...
I thought Devil May Cry 4 was great.
Yep.
I really liked it. I liked Devil May Cry 4. A lot of people didn't like it because it did the fucking Snake Plissken bullshit. You know, Snake Plissken, where Snake creeps up and he's not Snake anymore. He's somebody else instead. And it's towards the middle of the game, and now you gotta fucking find out why Snake is being weird. You know, and that's pretty much what it was. So people didn't like it because of that.
I like the word. To play as Dante was a pain in the ass. Like, to get to him, to defeat him, because he's not an easy boss. No way, not by any means. Then finally get to play as him, I'm like, alright, I'm satisfied, let's do this.
I love that sword, man.
Oh, Rebellion?
I love that sword.
Rebellion? Oh my god.
No, not Dante's sword.
Not Virgil.
Nero.
Nero sword.
The
The fucking Rev. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
what is it? The
I
Red
love
Queen?
that
The Red
sword.
Queen or something? I
Something
can't-
like that. I don't remember what it was. That sword was phenomenal.
I'll look
I
it
love
up, but
playing
just-
with that sword, man.
Oh,
I
once
love like you're in the middle of the combo, you start revving it up, and it powers up your boost. So the more you hit them, the more you can power it up and get ready. And once you rev it, oh my! I thought that was a phenomenal concept. So that then, like between each swipe, you could rev the fucking engine and the handle. I thought it was a phenomenal aspect that I would have liked to see in future Devil May Cry games. But
Red Queen, I was right.
the Red Queen, I thought that
And
was
it looks. I love the way it looked too.
yeah, it looked
That is
great.
nice.
I thought that was like people didn't like the whole grabbing and all that.
Oh, I abused the shit out of
I
that thing.
loved that. I thought Devil May Cry 4 was a very well done game, and it changed the landscape of Devil May Cry. Because Devil May Cry was a juggling game, and all of a sudden now you could choose to be up in the air with the enemy. And you could choose to have a stronger hit when you wanted to have a stronger hit. You had full control in that game. It was
That's what I love.
thought it
Like,
was
you know the one where
phenomenal.
you take the devil arm, you knock the enemies up. Okay, here's what I used to do. I used to rev up the Red Queen, knock the enemies in the air, and then do that big slash air combo and just wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, I thought that game was phenomenal. I couldn't believe that people were giving it such low ratings. But I think it was mostly because they were angry that they didn't get to play as Dante, to be honest.
What do you think of Devil May Cry 4? That clearly is the topic right
Great
now.
prequels, yeah.
But no, let us know what you thought of Devil May Cry 4. I would be interested
Yeah,
to see.
I'd be interested. I mean, I have a feeling a lot of people don't like Devil May Cry 4.
I loved
and
it. I
But why?
I don't know. I thought I always chalked it up to people did not want to see another character switch again, like they did with Metal Gear. They didn't really coincide, but you got Devil May Cry 4 that was on PS3, if I'm right,
Devil May Cry 4 was
Yes.
on PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yes.
and Xbox 360, and that was right after the generation switch from PS2 to PS3. And the last thing that you remember from PS2 was Metal Gear Solid 2. And
Devil May Cry
Raiden
2.
came out. And you were like, who the fuck is this faggot? And then you go to PlayStation 3 and the first game to come out is not Dante. And you're like, who the fuck is this faggot?
Yeah.
Like twice, back to back on two different consoles. You're just like, what the fuck? Why are these people doing this? And that I think it was more of the hatred of Raiden and what happened there that pissed people off about Nero in the second one.
Well, I was gonna say if you really want to redeem, actually wait, they can't. Never mind. I was gonna say if they were gonna, I kind of wish they would actually like make Devil May Cry 5, not DMC 2, Devil May Cry 5, and bring back Nero and kind of like split the game evenly. That's what we want.
You've heard it from us, Capcom. If you can't listen to us, who can you listen to?
Well, I think I want to see what happens with DMC. I think I want to give them
Do you
time
think
to
there will
flush
be
it
a
out.
sequel?
I think there should be a sequel.
I hope it doesn't end up like the Beyond Good and Evil situation.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the franchise doesn't die off.
Oh, that's what I gotta tell you about later.
I think Devil May Cry is a great franchise that should persist. It should exist past
give it another shot. We'll see
PlayStation
what
4. I think that people are misjudging what the game's basis is. That they're losing sight of what made it so great in the first place. But
Beyond Good and Evil.
But what do you guys think?
yeah.
What prequels did you guys like? Which ones weren't you a fan of? Let us know in the comments.
Would you like to see a prequel to PsyOps, a Mindgate conspiracy?
I want to see a prequel.
No, you need a sequel to that game. Fuck the prequel. I want a sequel.
I want a prequel to Psycho.
What about a prequel to PlayStation All Stars?
Absolutely.
Oh
But
God.
they have less and less PlayStation All Stars.
Like PlayStation All Stars. This is the prequel. The real All Stars. How about that?
Crash Bandicoot.
I'll give you a prequel. It's called Smash Brothers.
There you go.
The real PlayStation All Stars. That's what I like to see. I like to see PlayStation All Stars, the prequel. The real PlayStation All Stars.
But until next time, guys. Game
Game
on.
on. Tomb Raider was this year.
Yeah.
They were supposed to come out November,
Yeah.
November 10th, but it got pushed back by like a week. So, because they didn't want to go head to head.
No, of course not. Of course it doesn't.